We are continuing our coverage here at the Precious Metal Summit in Beaver Creek. It's a conference focused on the junior mining sector. But joining me now is Glenn Mullan. He's the president of the PDAC, which is definitely the largest show I cover. It's the world's largest mining conference. So welcome to the show. Not your show, but a show. What brings you to the junior mining space?
Our members. So, being Canadian, there's either a hockey game or a mining show, and you'll find us somewhere.
Exactly.
And so there is no hockey game here. This is all about mining, and many of our members are here. A lot of our stakeholders, and Precious Metals Summit are one of our key strategic partners of the PDAC.
So let's talk about the health of the junior mining sector. You've obviously been in this business, a very long time now, and now the president of the PDAC. How do you see the state of it right now?
Mining is so cyclical. So I think the one thing we can all agree upon is there are these fantastic times at peaks, and then there are these devastating times in the troughs.
Yep.
And there is nothing that can be predicted in between. It's the vagaries of the markets and supply demand and commodity fluctuations and currencies and political risk and all of that. But right now is actually a very interesting time, and interesting in a positive way, not challenging.
So interesting in what ways?
There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of jurisdictions, countries that are open for mining exploration that were not in the past 10 years, 20 years. So that's brand new for a lot of our junior mining partners. Most companies have been able to accomplish financings that were unattainable and not even on the spectrum for planning 2-3 years ago. A lot of the industry has come back, and the statistics, the empirical data support that right now.
You mentioned some countries that have just opened their doors to mining. Which ones can you give us some examples?
Well, there's actually a lot on the African continent, but it's not restricted only to Africa. And on that continent, I just mentioned quickly Kenya, Ethiopia, Cameroon, that are 3 countries that are working really hard to try to realign their mining codes and attract foreign investment in ways that they had not done before. Honduras in Central America. So we've heard a lot of negative news from Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, but Honduras has been a refreshing breath of fresh air because they're working to attract foreign investment. South America, there's a lot of new opportunities, and a lot of our junior companies are working hard on those.
Glenn, you mentioned how this industry is very much cyclical, and it's always funny to me whenever I attend the PDAC, people are always quick to comment on the enthusiasm levels and the attendance level. And last year there was a lot of positive energy coming out of the conference. Are you optimistic heading into 2018 here? What can we expect?
24,161 smiles at the PDAC last year. That was pretty good. And that was something we hadn't really anticipated. We were hoping for an increase, and we'd seen that in other conferences in the industry, in DABA and in Vancouver just before. But PDAC really took off, and there were a lot of financings, there was a lot of media coverage, there was a lot of events that aligned themselves well with the event.
Right. Well, people love using the catchphrase, well, it's cautiously optimistic. When can we drop the word cautiously, and what's it going to take to just get optimistic?
Let's agree right here, right now, get rid of that word, because this is a good time to be optimistic for commodities, for opportunities, for politics. I think there's a lot of good opportunities the world needs metals. The world didn't give up on economic development because of some of the challenges, but when people think of the stress and the financial capacity, they usually mean gold, and the mining industry is much bigger than just gold. Mind you, this is a precious metals summit, and that is the focus of most of the companies that are here. But so many of the junior mining companies are working in esoteric minerals and rare earths and specialty metals.
And not to bring the focus back to gold, but let's talk about the price of this metal. How do you see it? Do you think we'll close off the year with higher highs here?
I'll let Rob McEwen give his prediction,
because 5,000 plus gold. So.
And I certainly hope he's right, but I don't think the world really cares what I think the price of gold is going to do, but I will tell you that I think it's in a good place right now. It's interesting to most of our North American producers and explorers. Most of the companies that are in production are profitable. That's a pretty good piece of evidence that supports that we're in a nice place right now. And there's a lot of financings being done by junior companies evidencing that there's an appetite for that kind of exploration again. We're in a good spot.
Glenn Mullan, I look forward to attending this year's PDAC. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, and welcome everyone else to Toronto in March.
Get your winter coats ready, though. Thanks so much for watching our coverage here from the Precious Metals Summit. We have so much more for you, so be sure to stay tuned to Kitco.com. Thanks again.